In LA this week.
A new book and photo exhibit examines the social impact of the infamous Night Stalker murders of the summer of '85. I'm Gil Reyes with more on how the LA City Library can be a valuable resource for authors, filmmakers, and historians.
We're celebrating the 34th annual Kingdom Day Celebration Parade here in Leimert Park with all of LA. City leaders, families are out here having a good time as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King.
A new round of LAPD cadets hit the streets. Their graduation ceremony highlights coming up. Hey everyone, I'm Yana Kay. Here's what's happening in LA this week. The government shutdown has affected hundreds of federal workers and their families. Here in LA, city leaders gathered at LAX to show federal employees they stand behind them.
As you know, our government's been shut down longer than it's ever been shut down before. We have 800,000 federal employees who are either furloughed, which means they're locked out of their jobs, or they're working without pay.
Our officers are working without pay. Many embarrassed that they would need to for the first time depend on food stamps, food pantries, and handouts.
We have literally tens of thousands of people living in the city of Los Angeles right now that are depending on the federal government to do their job so that they can make rent in the next month and the month after that. The last thing we need is for Donald Trump to create new homeless working people to put on the streets of Los Angeles.
We have single mothers that are struggling to take care of children. There are business people going into this airport excited because they're gonna go places where they hope to make money. And the people that are keeping them safe are not making money and being paid. We stand with you in solidarity. Congress, work this out. Thank you.
They searched streets, along alleyways, and beneath bridges. 8,000 volunteers scoured LA County over 3 nights for the biggest homeless census in the country. Gil Reyes takes us to the kickoff event in North Hollywood.
Homelessness is the defining civic issue of our time. It has moral content that cannot be ignored, and each of us has a part to play in helping to resolve what many choose to describe as a humanitarian crisis.
Armed with safety vests and flashlights, volunteers prepared to venture out in the cold for the largest homeless census in the United States.
The crisis demands our focus and determination to do more and to build more.
The Coffrin family, who up until recently had experienced homelessness, were among the thousands of volunteers taking part in this mission of mercy, the Greater LA Homeless Count.
It mattered to us to not forget where we came from, and we never forget where we came from, and we're always reminding both our boys that, you know, there are other people who went through the same thing, and if anything, much worse even sometimes, and for longer periods.
But we know that counting is the beginning of caring, and caring is the beginning of acting, and acting is the beginning of solving.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti helped rally the troops at a permanent supportive housing complex in North Hollywood. The good news, homelessness across LA County dropped 3% last year. The bad news, increases in the San Fernando Valley.
My entire district has experienced an increase in homelessness, particularly communities like Van Nuys and Panorama City. So it definitely will dictate where the resources are at, but also, I'm interested to know where folks are coming from as well.
We catch up with the team at North Hollywood's Valley Plaza Park, where it's a brisk 52 degrees out here tonight. Slightly uncomfortable for us, but far worse for those who have to sleep out here tonight. What do you count? Just so you have vehicles,
sure.
People?
RVs, tents, anything that would represent a person who's unhoused. We need to count all of that.
We spot 2 RVs right off the bat. Katie Tell, an LA Family Housing employee, volunteers tonight without pay.
For me to really just see firsthand the stories, the situations that our clients are living in is really key.
The last time I was here, there were a lot more folks, and as you've seen, there's very few people so far in the park. Some vehicles, but Not that many, and you know, that hope that the efforts up here in the San Fernando Valley are working to end homelessness so far are paying off. We'll see how the whole count goes.
The group counted 6 at Valley Plaza Park before moving on to another location. So they just missed Rudy Martinez, who told us he lost his arm in a train accident.
Wandering out here in the streets because I came out of the hospital and everything, so I'm just here just looking for blankets.
Where are you going to sleep?
Right here in the park.
Temperatures at the park would end up dipping into the 40s.
By showing up tonight, by getting out to count, we are saying to our homeless neighbors, we see you. We are here for you, and you count.
Results from the Greater LA homeless count are expected to be released in late May.
While we await those results, it's worth mentioning that last year, more than 53,000 homeless individuals were counted in LA County. That's the first time in 4 years the numbers didn't increase. Local leaders largely credit Measures H and HHH for those reductions. In downtown LA, many folks also took to the streets, but for a totally different cause. Hundreds showed up for the 3rd annual Women's March LA, bringing together people of all ages, races, and cultures.
Women's March Los Angeles. How are you feeling today? I am so honored to be here today to stand in solidarity with women of all kinds. Our coming together today is a resistance. We come with demands for justice. Ladies, gentlemen, and my gender non-binary peeps, please welcome Mayor Garcetti.
2 years ago, we had the largest women's march anywhere in the United States of America. After our president told us about an imaginary crowd, we showed him a real crowd. And we've kept at it every day since.
I have never felt so dominating in my life than when I'm supported by all these women, thousands of women who are here for me.
I'm here today because I believe in equality for everybody, no matter your gender, sexual orientation, religion. You deserve the same fundamental rights.
Just because I'm a white male doesn't mean, I support LGBT and I'm not LGBT. I'm not a woman, but I support women.
So what's happened in the last year? Because this isn't just about walking, this is about doing. Emma Gonzalez, who called BS on thoughts and prayers and said, do something and save lives. Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who gave testimony about her assault and who still needs our support so that other women could stand up and speak out and speak their truth. Like the record number of women we elected. There wasn't just a blue wave, there was a pink wave this year. A woman leads our airport here in Los Angeles. A woman heads up our Department of Transportation. This past year, the first African-American woman became a deputy chief in LAPD, and the first woman to ever graduate at the top of her class as a fire department was a woman this year.
You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys or girls. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. Women will not go back to the future. We'll go forward to the future. Because the future is female.
Crowds came out in South LA for the 34th annual Kingdom Day Parade, recognizing the life of Martin Luther King Jr. The celebration, which is the largest in the nation, made its way through Leimert Park and featured dozens of local leaders and other politicians.
We're here celebrating the 34th annual Kingdom Day Celebration Parade with all of LA. Families, friends, city leaders are out here celebrating the life and legacy of the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King.
Celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. Clap your hands if you celebrate these joyful to celebrate the fact that Dr. King is alive and well in our hearts today.
Mama, look!
Hold on, honey.
That's horsey!
Oh my goodness!
I also love seeing the diversity, all the different kinds of people. It's not just black people, it's white people, it's Latinos, it's Asian people. Like, everybody comes out we forget about our differences for one day to just actually come out here and have a good time as one people, and that really makes me feel good.
I actually marched with Dr. King in Selma, so this day is very significant for me because it's a day, Dr. King was all about love, so it's a day to remember love.
We've never needed Dr. King's message more than right now. Our diversity is a source of power and strength here. We're going to be lifting each other up.
It brings people together, helps us to reaffirm our commitment to living the goals and ideals of Dr. King. And we're having fun doing it, and this is a real family affair. It's a beautiful day.
He shaped and reshaped civil rights in America. And for policing, it is so important that we hold the trust of the people, and they have to believe in their government. And Martin Luther King challenged that government to be a better government for all the people.
But the parade was just the beginning of the festivities. Dr. King's message of unity and love echoed throughout the day at several locations, and we were there.
We're at Freedom Fest here in Leimert Park celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King, but it's not all fun and games. It's about culture, it's about community, it's about unity, it's about putting action behind the words and the legacy of Dr. King.
As far as what he did, him being nonviolent with all the violence going on right now in society, he was an icon who did and made phenomenal changes and never used violence. He never used hostility. He promoted love. He promoted understanding, knowledge, and information as opposed to reaction. So because of that, I support it.
I got my son and my family out here trying to teach him about unity and love and King legacy.
We're at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. It's also Martin Luther King Jr.'s 90th birthday. Can you tell us why you think it's important for us to continue to celebrate and honor Dr. King's legacy?
It's critical for humanity. The source and the essence of peace is reflected in his struggle and his victory, and continues to be a model, a philosophy that everyone should embrace.
He was a radical man. He was a radical thinker, and when he spoke, he brought people together on platforms that were never, didn't exist before him.
Washington, D.C. is causing so much divisiveness, not bringing people together. King's message is willing to bring folks together and to work toward solving our problems.
And coinciding with MLK celebrations, a new affordable housing complex was unveiled in Dr. King's honor this week. The 26-unit property will become home to a number of those living on the street and military veterans.
I hear a lot of times talking about neighborhoods that don't want these types of housing because they assume that we all, do drugs, we all drink, we all, and it's not that. It's not that.
This is a homeless housing development on Martin Luther King Boulevard. We want to have people moved in, and we want to have a celebration on Martin Luther King weekend. 3, 2, 1, yeah!
anything can happen to anybody. We want to be prepared for these situations.
We believe that holding up the traditions and the spirit of Martin Luther King means reaching out and making sure we take care of the least of these.
We are educated people. We are people that have careers, have had careers. We are people that want to make a change. My heart rejoices that we have good people that do think about us. And now, look, I have a place I can call home.
They were some of the most vicious acts of terror in LA's history. And now a new book looks back at the fear and frenzy that swept our city during the Night Stalker period. Gil Reyes takes us to LA's Central Library.
It was the spring and summer of 1985. Back to the Future was the #1 movie in the theaters. Live Aid concerts raised tens of millions of dollars for famine relief in Africa. And here in Los Angeles, a suspect was on the loose. This photo exhibit at the LA Central Library examines the social impact of the infamous Night Stalker case.
Law enforcement as a whole mobilized all over Southern California looking for this guy.
This guy was serial killer Richard Ramirez, the subject of retired LAPD officer Glenn Martin's new book entitled Satan's Summer in the City of Angels, the social impact of the Night Stalker.
And it was a time when nobody thought they were safe. So, yeah, I suppose you could look at it as a reminder, but it's a retrospective on how awful that summer was.
We went from in 1984, the Olympics, where everybody was thrilled, to a year later, and all of a sudden, the whole community is terrorized.
Dean Musgrove, former photographer at the now defunct LA Herald Examiner, and his crew took many of the photos now in the book, including this one of the East LA neighbors who chased and held Ramirez until the cops arrived. He was eventually convicted of 13 murders, as well as several rapes and burglaries. The photos during this manhunt are now on display at downtown Central Library, which purposely omitted any photos of the killer. Proceeds from the book benefit the library and photo friends of the LA Public Library.
We're all volunteers. We're all people who love Los Angeles history and photography. And we basically do programming to support the photo collection.
And what a collection! The LA City Library has 120,000 archive photos available.
It's a resource for authors, for the motion picture industry.
We do charge a fee, though, because they do help benefit the photo collection. People can get copies. We make prints. We can do 8x10 prints all the way up to 42-inch prints. So we can fit a variety of needs. People can go to TESSA, T-E-S-S-A, .lapl.org. That is our digital portal.
For writers and documentary filmmakers, it would be criminal if you didn't.
The photo exhibit is on display at the Tom Bradley wing of the Central Library. Admission is free. For more info, visit lapl.org. It's been 25 years since the Northridge earthquake. Since then, have we become better prepared for the next one? That was the question being asked by Councilmember Bob Blumenfield as he looked back at the devastating earthquake.
25 years ago, on this very day, a powerful earthquake rocked Southern California and forever altered the lives of so many, including lives lost.
As horrific of an incident as it was a shining day for LA City workers, because the city family, the employees came together and really helped put LA back together again, helped put the valley back together again. There's a lot that we need to do to get ourselves fully prepared. We talked about at this press conference a number of those steps, including the Shake LA app, which everybody should download. You have a ready, set, go bag so that you've got the needed material with you or in your car, keeping extra cash around, having a designated location where your family will be a point of contact for your family members. And there's things that people can do as volunteers. We have a great CERT program in LA, which I urge people to be part of, which trains people to be first responders themselves. It's not a question of whether there'll be another earthquake. It's a question of whether it will be a disaster.
Police Chief Michael Moore reaches out to the community in a town hall. A long-awaited pathway to PCH begins to take shape, and community members thank those who helped end the teacher strike. All this in Citybeat. LAPD Chief Michael Moore held a public safety town hall meeting for the residents of the East San Fernando Valley. The chief addressed public questions and concerns, as well as discussed challenges the LAPD faces looking forward in effectively policing the community.
People involved in violent crime, people who are engaged in thefts and offending on others, this is an area that we're going to make those arrests.
Councilmember Mike Bonnet and the Department of Rec and Parks broke ground on the long-anticipated Potrero pathway in Pacific Palisades. The path will extend from the hillside to PCH and will offer a variety of ocean views, as well as expanded recreation opportunities along the route. Completion is scheduled for 2020. Mayor Eric Garcetti mediated a successful end to the now historic Los Angeles teachers' strike. After thousands of teachers and supporters marched in downtown LA, an agreement was reached between the normally contentious school board and teachers union. Now this is a special treat. Ever wanted to see your face on a big mural? Well, we caught up with local artists as they capture the real faces and stories of the community. It's all part of a local art show called Heart of Hyde Park, designed to inspire a new generation.
The project is called Heart of Hyde Park for a reason. It's focused on creating a mural for the corner of Slauson and Crenshaw, which is one of the most important intersections in this neighborhood.
By me being growing up in this community, I thought that I was able to give voice and relate, and really just wanted to be a part of it.
It makes me feel special because I've never really been part of something as big of a mural. My older siblings are jealous, and my younger siblings don't really care.
I actually didn't think I would make it onto a mural before.
The most important element of depicting community members on the mural is that they see themselves in a way that recognizes that they're important. So many times in communities, the everyman gets overlooked for, people from either outside the community or people on TV or whatnot. But each person has an important voice and an important talent. So I think it's just important that we elevate them and depict them in ways that shows how important they are to us.
Our goal is to have them be involved in what seems like an art project, but really is a civic project. Many of the people that we are featuring are those community members who think about how to make this neighborhood a better place.
I really want to create the next public artist in Los Angeles. It's kind of the way that I want to give back to communities, because I can only paint so many murals, but if I create more muralists, then they can create more murals around the city and beautify it.
This can get my name known because I do want to be a politician. So people can look back on this and say, hey, wasn't that the kid on the bank in Hyde Park? Wow, that's crazy that he's the president now.
This next story is for the rockers in all of us. Now I'm having flashbacks of my Prince vinyls. Want a super cool way to spend your next Saturday? Why don't you swing on by the rock and roll flea market at the Regent Theater for a taste of your favorite music legends, vintage garb, food, drinks, and lots of other sweet swag.
I always tell people it's kind of like a party that just happens to sell things. It's vinyl, lots of used vinyl and new vinyl, vintage clothes, but it's kind of skewed to a more music-oriented crowd. We do have little collectibles and some old musical instruments.
This is
my first time here. My friend and I are both here. We work in the music industry, and we kind of just decided that we needed a creative outlet. So we hit the books and we just started kind of designing stuff that we would like and that we would want to buy, and just kind of turned it into this.
When there's an outlet like this that's both affordable for us as like vendors, but also affordable for, you know, people that want to come in and check things out, it's awesome. We definitely need more of it in the city.
There's music, there's cool people, cool stuff. It's just a lot to see. You can walk around, come here for an hour, shop, and like just have a really awesome Saturday.
The Rock and Roll Flea Market happens every month at the Regent Theater in downtown LA. You know the drill. Visit rnrflea.com. Learn all about yummy Japanese food. Buy a special gift for that special someone at a Valentine's pop-up, and a treat not only for your eyes, but for your taste buds too. All this and things to do. Your next culinary adventure awaits at the 2019 Japanese Food Expo. Learn about Japanese culture through dozens of workshops and exhibitors, all designed to help you cultivate a love and taste for Japanese foods and spices. An open table awaits at the Japanese Food Expo, happening at the Hilton Los Angeles Universal City, located at 555 Universal Hollywood Drive. The expo is on Saturday, February 2nd from 1 to 8 p.m. For ticket information, contact expo@jfcausa.org. The Craft Contemporary Shop presents a special Valentine's Day pop-up. This pop-up event at the Craft and Folk Art Museum features locally made men's accessories from pocket square clothing and handcrafted jewelry curated by Rise Project. Find a meaningful gift that your Valentine will adore for years at the Valentine's Day pop-up from the Craft Contemporary Shop, located at 5814 Wilshire Boulevard. It's open Tuesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit info@cafam.org. Get the red carpet treatment at a special screening of Visionaries, the PBS docuseries that highlights humanitarian service to Los Angeles children in need. The screening and reception commemorates 100 years of service by the Assistance League of Los Angeles. You can check out this special screening of Visionaries on Saturday, February 2nd, starting at 5 p.m. The event will take place at Assistance League Theater, located at 1367 North St. Andrews Place. For details, visit assistantleaguela.org. And that's a look at some things to do. That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next week for more of LA This Week.